Hi, welcome to Lori's Crafting Place.blogspot.com. So glad you could join me today. And I'm going to be doing again Technique Wednesday, and I'm doing it on Thursday. Wednesdays just aren't seeming to work out for me. So I don't know if I'm going to stop doing these Technique Wednesdays and Fun Fold Fridays and just start doing maybe on those days something else, and so whatever I'm crafting or working on, I'm gonna start working on Christmas cards. Got all my Thanksgiving ones done, and so today we're gonna do a Christmas card, and it's just gonna be I hope a fun one. I'm gonna be using this retired a long time ago Christmas Pines Stampin' Up! And then I don't know if I may use this branch and cone pine die set that I had gotten when Fun Stamper's Journey was in business. So they had quite a few nice stamps and die cuts. But today we're going to use this one. So we'll get started on that. I'm also going to be using some paper that was Stampin' Up! From a long time ago called Wrapped in Plaid. And you can see that right there. This one, Wrapped in Plaid, and it has all kinds of plaid paper. I just love it. Let's see. Here's another one. It's called Plaid Tidings. And you can see it's got all kinds of paper, plaid paper in there. So I think that's the one I got this one out of, but I'm not sure. Okay, so let's put the camera down here and we'll get started. Let's see here. I can get this down. Okay, I think we're about good right there. Alrighty, so you will need to have a piece of cardstock that is, it's an 8.5 by 11, and I cut it in at 5.5, so then we end up with a piece that's 4 1/4 by 5.5. And we're gonna just fold this over here to get our A2 card. Use my little spatula here. So we have our card base. Okay. And then we're going to take a piece of this double-sided paper. This side has pine cones, so I mean, really could use that since we're doing pine cones, but I like the plaid. And that is a piece that is 4 1/4 by 5.5, and I want it to cover the whole front of my card. So that's what I'm going to do. Using some glue. I'll put some glue on here, hopefully. It looks like it might have clogged up the end here. Let me get this glue off. Like I said, I've been making a lot of cards. So, yeah, that's what the problem was. Okay, so now we're going to get this on here and try to line it up so that it covers this whole card base. Pretty good, pretty good. So we've got the card. You can see a little bit of white on the edge, but that's all right. Okay, and then what I'm going to do, let me come back over here and I can see what I'm doing here. Then I'm going to take a piece of black. I'm going to put that as a mat for this white piece. The white piece is what we're going to be stamping on. So I'm going to move that to the side. I'm going to get out my blocks. So I want to put put this, let's see, I'm going to flip this over. It comes with two different, here's one, here's the other one. I really like this set. And I'm going to use our Christmas blessings. That'll go right across here perfectly. I'm going to use real red ink, which is Stampin' Up's on one of their ink pads. And then we'll make sure we have it go in the right direction here. We'll ink that up, and we're going to stamp that across the bottom here like this. There. And then I've got my rag here that I'm going to wipe my ink off. Okay. And then I'm going to set that there. And then I want some green. I think I'll put this back on here. Let's see. We can go like that. And then I want a branch. I think I want this branch. This is a pretty big branch. So I'm going to have to get my other block out here. That's a pretty big branch, and it's going to probably go off the side here. Okay, so then I want green. So let's see here. I could use garden green. I think I'll use garden green. Okay, and then we're just going to ink this up. Make sure I got it inked up, and I'm going to, I think I'm going to start right here. And then we'll get some more. And we'll put some, how about if we put some right here? Maybe right here. And maybe some right here. Doesn't matter. And so it covers it up. We don't have any up here, so let's get some up there. I don't know what happened here. There. There we go. Okay, so we've got that. And then what I want to do is set that aside. And then I'm going to use a piece of this brown and get out these pine cones. And let me see here. I think I'm going to use a solid one. And I'll use that one. So I'm going to use, I think, Early Espresso ink on here for my pine cones. And then I'm going to try some of this white craft pad. And I'll show you what we're going to do. I'm going to move that aside for a minute. So I'm going to use some Early Espresso and stamp it on this. Do I want to stamp it on brown, or do I want to? I don't know. Let's try here and see what it's going to look like. So if I'm going to put my pine cone the right way here. So I got a really dark pine cone. And I want to see, I don't know, let's just do Let's just do a couple of these. All right, then let's take this. Oops, let's put my lid on my glue. Then let's take the Whisper White and let's see if we can, this should be dry, but I'm gonna wave it a little bit just to make sure. And then I'm gonna ink this up because I want it to look like snow. So let's get some white on here. And then we're gonna stick it like this. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. Okay, I'm gonna wipe that off because I don't want that brown to get on here. Okay, and then we're gonna ink this up again. And we're gonna stick it on this one. Yeah, that's not too bad. I want to go ahead and see what it would look like if I use a piece of white. Hopefully this is a big enough piece of white. I have a scrap over here I'm trying to grab. Let's take this brown again, or this early espresso. Let's do one. And we'll do another one. Okay, we're gonna wipe that one off. And then we'll do this one again with the white. Let's get that off of there. I don't want any brown ink getting on my white ink pad. Let's see which one I'm gonna like better. I don't know. I really don't know which one. I don't know. What do you all think? Which one do you like better? The one that's stamped on the brown or the one that's stamped on the white? Or is there even really a difference? I don't think there's really a difference. So, I think that I'm going to save that one. We'll use it. And this is the one I'm going to cut out. Unfortunately, I don't have any dies for this, so we're going to have to cut. Okay, so let's close up these ink pads. I'll set those over here for now. Okay, let's get our image back on in here. And I think what we'll go ahead and do, let's see, I need some, I think what I'm gonna do, I didn't get any twine or anything out. Some twine would be really good, but I don't think I got any out. So let me see what I've got over here in my little dispenser thing. Maybe I'll use this metallic stuff. This is some stuff I've had in my craft kit for a while, and it'll go well with that. So let's see, we'll get some of that out, take some of that off of there. Okay, so let's glue this down onto here. We're just going to put some glue on here. And don't worry about measurements, because I will have the measurements down in the description box for you all. Okay, let's smash that down here a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to take some of this. I know it's real thin, but that's okay. I don't want the two different colors. Let's see. Okay, where'd you go? There you are. I don't know. I just thought of this stuff. It's kind of sparkly, and it's like I said, I think it's metallic string or something like that. And so I'm going to take it and I'm going to wrap it around here. I hope. I'm going to hold this in because I'm going to tie that in a minute. And I want to just wrap this around a few times. And then I'm going to tie this. Let me cut that off. And grab a hold of this again. I don't have any fingernails. Okay, let's just tie this. Where'd you go? These don't want to, they don't want to stay in my hand. They're so fine. Okay, hold on there. They're so little. Let's see if we can get this all tied up. Come on, where'd you go again? I don't know, sometimes working with this little skinny stuff is quite a task. Where did you go? These are a pain. Okay, let's see if we can wrap this around. Come on. Talking to my oh, brother. All right, now let's see if I can hold it with something. I don't know if that's gonna work. Would help if I had some fingernails. I can't get this to go. Okay, so you know what I'm going to do? I am going to, what I'm going to do, where are you? I'm going to put a little glue dot right here, put these together, so that they will stick and stay together. I hope. I hope. All right, stay there. And I will let that dry, and then I'm going to put something on there. I have an idea, so let's just let this sit here. Let's go ahead and put some glue, I think. I'm just going to get it all down. Alrighty. I'm going to turn this over, stick it on here, leaving a border all the way around. Make sure I don't have any glue. Gonna smush that down. that down. Come on, you guys. Get together here. Okay, let's move those guys out of the way. And I have an idea that I'm going to do there. I just have a second idea that I'm going to do there. Okay, then I'm going to cut out these. And remember I said I don't have any die cuts, so we're going to have to cut these out by hand. Well, that's all right. You just kind of follow the curve of the pine cone. And our pine cones appear to be dry now, so it doesn't take this ink very long to dry, which is nice. Okay, I love pine trees and pine cones. I really do. I remember my dad used to take us kids up to where he used to work. He was a timber faller. And there were sugar pines. Oh, they were the hugest pine cones I ever saw. And they were full of pine nuts. Oh, boy, did they taste good. I remember those sugar pines. Well, my sister, if she's watching, Vic, do you remember those sugar pines? Oh, those pine cones. Of course, she still lived where, well, the area, kind of, where Dad used to fall trees. So, there we go. I got those done. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take and put a couple of these pine cones on here. And I don't have a pine branch coming down, so I think I'm going to make one if I have some brown. I don't know if I have brown. I know I have this black one. I wonder, I don't know, I don't want to ruin it. I wish this had a branch or something, but there's no branch in this set. So the best thing I could do, maybe I can just take a colored pencil, maybe better than a marker, and take the brown and kind of come down from here with a branch. And make it so this comes off. And then let's see, let's put some dimensionals on here. Put one down here, one over here. Get off my finger. One there, and a couple on the top. Okay. I'm going to push these down a little bit so you can see what I did. I just put some dimensionals on my pine cones. But I'm not done yet. I got more I'm going to do to this card. Peel these off, the backing. And then we're going to kind of stick this one over here. And we're going to stick, these things really do stick. And we're going to stick this one over here and come off this side. I did kind of smush up my white. I think that's pretty so far. Okay, so then what I'm going to do, I have this stuff here. Where is it? Here, it's called Shimmery Crystal Effects, and I sure hope it's going to come out. Okay, I see what that is. I thought I had something else too. maybe I'll just go ahead and put some glitzy stuff on here. Let's just go ahead and do that. Let's try it. Get down here. Sorry, I don't want you to see my head. You don't need to see my head. That way it looks kind of like snow. And it's sparkly. And I think it's pretty. Let me see. Ooh, yeah. Let's put some over here on this side. Some over here. And if you even want to come down on there, come over here, add some sparkling. Yeah. Just add a little bit. We don't need a whole lot. And again, this is called stickles. Okay, stickles. I really like that. Okay, let me get the one thing I was going to stick over here. I'm going to get my packages of rhinestones out. Let's see. And I think, I don't know, that looks like pink. That one, is that a pink one down here? I don't really want pink, I want red. I think those are all pink. So, let's get a green one. There's a green one. Here's a nice big green one. So we're going to get that one and we're going to put that right here. Right over that. And that's going to hold that in place also. So, what do you think? I think it's pretty, and you can see the sparkle on it. Yep. Okay, there's our card, our Christmas card. And while I have you on here, I'm going to show you some of the other Christmas cards I've made. So this is the one for today. I just really like it. And then I made a whole bunch of these. I love these shadow box cards. And you can see in there, and it stands up. You can get it to where it, and then on the back, I have my sentiment and a snowflake, but I did a little nativity scene inside there. And then I put sparkles on the snowflakes. You can see some of that. Let me turn this way. Oh, there, I did a whole bunch of those. I did a couple of these kinds where it's going to open up like this. And then you've got your inside. And then you close it back up. And I thought those were cute. And then let's see what I got over here. I have one like this. I love those candy canes. And then you open that up. Candy canes and the little candies. I really like those. Cute. Then a while back I did this one. I really like this one. So it's closed, and then you open it, And I use just stickers from a pack that I have. Oh, that was really pretty. I really, really like that one. And then I have some that are like this. So I did one like this. Very simple, easy card. This was courtesy of Connie Stewart. It was like 5-minute cards or something like that. And I have my sentiment inside. So I did a couple of these type. And then I did one of these. And I love the paper. The paper is just beautiful. But Merry Christmas. But I just love that card. And then I did another one like this, using some Mossy Meadow. Those things are really, really pretty cards. And then I did a couple of these. I did a couple of those. Then I found an old paper pumpkin that I had that was a Christmas one. So I watched Rachel Tessman do some cards using this paper pumpkin. And these all open this way. And then you've got this on the inside, which was an envelope. And we just used it, cut it down, and used it as a sentiment place to write your message. And then it had these little gingerbread houses. It was really cute. So there's that one. This one's the same. And then there's these. It said Merry Christmas. And then we use this to write the sentiment. You write your sentiment on. And then here's another one that has a little door, which is what was taken out of this spot right here. So you end up with these little doors and put a pearl on it, like a handle, or doorknob, I mean. And then this one, I just did that. Of course, I'm gonna have to doctor these up because some of my black came off. And then there was this one. And there's some stamping on here. It's really hard to see, but there is some on there. And there's some on here on the inside. And another one of these. And then pearls were put on it. So, anyway, so I did several of these too. So I've got to start on my Christmas cards. Nowhere near done. So, anyways, we'll turn you back up here. And so, thank you for joining me today. And if you like this video, click on the like button. And if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do so. Just click on subscribe. If you want to see when I'm making more videos, click on the notification bell. And thank you so much to all my subscribers. I really appreciate you. And so just thank you so much. And I just, until next time, happy creating. Okay, have a great day. Bye-bye.